Thank you and good afternoon. Welcome to Stories of the Soul radio show. Today is October the 2nd, 2022. Before I get started, I want to give a couple of shout outs. First shout out I want to give to my pastor, Bishop Clark. He celebrated his birthday on this week, and today they did a little celebration for him at the church. So I want to wish you a happy birthday and many, many more. There's also other people's birthdays I want to acknowledge. My niece, Rhea. Uh, I want to also wish her a happy birthday. And Jaya is going to be having a birthday at the end of the month. I want to also give a shout out and a big, big, big happy birthday to her. So I'm not going to hold you long. October is the month of breast cancer awareness, and I definitely want to just talk about that and acknowledge that. I was supposed to be speaking today on both sides of the conversation, but we ended up canceling the show because we didn't have anybody that wanted to come speak. And I'm just surprised because I know a lot of people who either been through it or just had a survivor. So if anybody's interested, please reach out to me at ythomas at bostc at gmail.com. If you would like to be a guest on our show, we would love to have you. So the first thing that I want to do is acknowledge my aunt Gail Bishop. Boy, do I miss her so much. She is the first person that, in my remembrance, that went through breast cancer. And I found out later on that my aunt, another one of my great aunts had breast cancer, but my aunt Gail went through breast cancer, and when it was found, she was at a stage 4. And I remember the hospital said, okay, there's nothing we can do, blah, blah, blah. And my aunt was a big advocate for herself. She was like, no, I want treatment. And they gave her treatment, and my aunt ended up living 13 years later. So never just let anyone just tell you there's nothing we can do or just give up. You know, it's all about the mindset. And I'm grateful to God that I had loving family and friends and total strangers to support me. I had a conversation with my Aunt Jackie early on when I first got diagnosed. And not only did she encourage me, she prayed with me and she talked to and let me know a lot about how my auntie Gail, which was her sister, was able to get through the cancer. And so I held on to that and I ran with it. I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to let cancer get me. I'm going to get it. And that's exactly what I did. If you have been newly diagnosed, if you have a loved one that's been diagnosed with breast cancer, always take someone with you to each one of your visits. I don't care if it's the initial visit. I don't care if it's, a follow up. I don't care if they're going to talk to you, about your diagnosis. Always take someone with you. From my experience, there's times where I miss some things, and if it had not been for example, Crystal was with me when I went to, her and Jaya was with me early on when I went to my appointment, and it was important things that I missed. I mean, this is something overwhelming, especially, if you have never really been through a sickness. Sometimes you miss things. Sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. And I had Andrea. She went with me and took me to my chemo appointments. It just, I have to honestly say that my cancer journey was not a bad journey. It wasn't. Even the chemo that I received, the treatment that I got, I was able to be sustained by it. And then it did come a time where I got the more aggressive cancer. I said, you know what, I'm done. I believe they wanted me to do like, I want to say maybe 6 treatments. And after the third one, I said, look, I'm done. And so they set up an appointment with me and they was like, look, we just want to make sure that you're okay with this decision. I told them I'm okay with it. But, thanks be to God, when they ran the test, it showed that I had a remarkable response towards the end. But in the beginning, if I would have went with the first organization that wanted to treat me, I probably wouldn't be here today. I want to encourage you to always get a second opinion. And I don't, I know that California is big on insurances, but you are entitled to a second opinion, and it doesn't have to be within the organization. Because I have found sometimes when you get a second opinion in the same organization, they see the exact notes that the other provider did, right? I'm not saying that all providers would do that, but hey, they may have a biased opinion to say, oh, yeah, this is what this is. So I decided to go outside of the organization, and my story is remarkable. If you want to know about it, grab my book. It's called Anecdotes of the Soul, a memoir by Yolanda Thomas, and you can get it on Amazon, or you can reach out to me, and if you're local, I can get it to you. You know, um, yeah, my journey was something, and it hurts me when I see other people, going through treatment and they're struggling and they're having a hard time. But it reminds me of this, and this is in the beginning of my book. Often, we become bound to our battles rather than release through our reflection. I have come to understand that what unites all of us are our experiences with pain and loss. However, what separates those held hostage to their past from those who are healed is our reflection. It is our critical reflection that leads to our critical actions. I just want to encourage somebody today that you can make it. I have been through the cancer stage, the breast cancer stage, and I would have to say that it was almost like an adrenaline, right? I told myself, like, I'm going to make it. This is not going to get me. And the weirdest thing is, after I got the okay that I was a survivor and that, all the cancer was gone, I then went into a slight depression. I just was sad. I don't know why. And I was like, wow, I really had cancer. And I kind of started doing the blame game. I was like, well, did I eat something? Was it because I lived in a certain neighborhood? And then I felt guilty, right? I have some people that I grew up with in my early on church in the city. Her and her sister passed away. May they so rest in peace. And I just like not understanding, like, okay, they got treatment actually at the same organization that I was with, and their cancer came back, and they're no longer with us. And so that really just hurt my heart that they and others are not still here. But I got to remind myself there are a lot of other women who have beat breast cancer and who lived a very long time. They're still thriving, they're still nourishing. And so, the best advice that I can give you from my cancer journey is to not focus on the negativity, not focus on the why. I did like I was part of a workshop. And one of the ladies expressed that she was angry with God. She was like, why could you do this to me? I have young children. I never felt that way. I never felt like, why me? You know, I just didn't. I just felt like whatever lesson it is you want me to learn from this, help me to learn it, help me to be a testimony, help me to be able to give back. We all have different talents, right? I love music, right? I love to sing, but that's not the gift he blessed me with, right? So for me, I ask myself, I'm like, God, what is my purpose? What is it that you have me here for? And I keep getting the same answer. I keep running from it. I keep trying to find something else. But my purpose and my passion in life is giving back and helping others. At times I'm just like, why? Because society is something else. Sometimes people take your kindness for weakness, but you got to be able to have that balance, right? You have to be able to have that discernment of spirit. And just through my livelihood and my teachings and my growing and my trainings, I can quickly identify when things are just not right. I never have regrets. And I enjoy giving back. I enjoy giving. I'm part of, I think, like maybe 4 different organizations that I volunteer for, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm just a part of it. I'm grateful that I can help work within my community and give back. Because my motto is, if I'm not giving, then I'm not living. That's, it took me a while to figure it out, but I just enjoy giving. And it's not always financial. People think sometimes it's financial. Sometimes it can be a kind word. Sometimes it just can be an encouragement. Sometimes it can just be a hug. It can be a simple smile. It can be a simple wink. It's a lot of different things that I have done throughout my life where people have come back and told me, you know what, I was going through something. And now I send little texts, little motivational. Now I've had two, it's only been two. I've had two people tell me, you know what, I don't want you sending me that. I don't want that. Okay, no problem. But I have so many more. When I don't send it, they be like, hey, I didn't receive anything from you. So anything that I can do to help you live and have a better outcome in your life, I'm willing to do that. I also want to, I read this book. I didn't finish it, but I had got this book that's called What Helped Get Me Through. And it's Cancer Survivors Share Wisdom and Hope. And it says it's edited by Julie K. Silver, MD. This is a really, can you guys see that? This is a really good book. I didn't get an opportunity to finish reading all of it, but I want to read this part of the book. And it says, I think a person with cancer needs to seek out support from friends and family. I had a group of people there to listen to me, cheer me on, and remind me I wasn't alone. I always felt that other people were invested in my survival. You can't overestimate the benefit of that kind of support and friendship. Lance Armstrong received a diagnosis of advanced testicular cancer at age 25 in 1996. Just over 3 years later, he went on to win the Tour de France. So I want to say that no matter how it looks, no matter what the prognosis is, it's all about your mindset. And I'm a strong believer we can heal ourselves from within. Absolutely. It's things that I have done. It's things that I have not done, and I know better. Sugar is not my best friend, but guess what? I love sugar. Stress. Oh my goodness. My youngest son, he was like, "Mom, did you know stressing was a sin?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Actually, I do." And I strive to not stress. Honestly, I strive to just live in peace. I try to do the serenity prayer. And I don't always meet the mark, but I strive very hard at it. I've learned what battles to fight, what battles not to fight. Now, I'm not going to let nobody walk over me. That's not going to happen. And it's ironic that recently this week I had something happen to me where I was doing a training and someone unprofessionally interrupted me more than once, more than twice. And even after I addressed it and it was addressed, they still did it again. And so someone asked me about doing another training with this person in my class. And I said, absolutely not. And I don't think they understand because they're saying, well, they don't mean no harm. At the end of the day, you don't know what's in somebody's heart. And if you tell somebody more than 3 times that that's something that offends you or that's a problem and they still do it, either that's just their character or they don't care. And I've learned not to put myself in those situations. Which also reminds me, be a advocate for yourself. If something doesn't feel right, speak up. If something continues to prolong any type of illness or sickness, speak up and say something. I know that doctors, clinicians, um, they've all gone to school. They all have past exams, and they have case studies that they've gone through. So they do have an expertise. However, you can be an advocate for yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I encourage it. Never just let nobody tell you anything about yourself. You know your body. Speak up and say something. Try to get you a how can I say, like And it's not always necessarily family, right? It can be friends or whoever to be a support for you. Write down your questions. Talk to a therapist. Sometimes maybe you're too close to the situation. Which this also just brings me to something else that's kind of been on my mind. I don't really watch the news, and I stopped watching the news back shortly after I lost my daughter Danielle. And it actually came from a therapist because I found that it was triggering for me. We already have enough stress that we deal with, right? We have stress from, uh, hopefully we don't, but we have things that we deal with at home in our personal life and in our professional life, and maybe even in our church organizations or just life, period. And we discovered that, negativity just is not good for me. I've never liked negative things and just being around negative people. And so I quit watching the news. And it's a big trigger. Now, of course, when big things happen, I hear about it and on social media. But because I'm not on social media a lot. I miss a lot. But because of a lot of the organizations I'm in, they're part of the community. So they'll bring it up in the meeting. I'll hear about it. And honestly, the first thing that I do is pray over and about the situation. God has blessed me. I am now a chaplain. Kudos to myself. I am a chaplain for the community. And next year, I think I'm probably going to move into the hospitals, just depending on how it is out here. I don't want to just limit myself, but just part of giving back. And it's not about trying to convert anybody. It's just basically listening, basically praying, basically encouraging. Because you have some people that might not want prayer, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm good with that. So that's one of my latest adventures that I'm proud of myself about. And with that being said, I'm okay with not watching the news. I have some people that know I don't watch the news, and they feel like that's not a good thing. But if watching the news for you helps you and encourages you and is uplifting to you, then more power to you. I don't. Hey, it's not my job to job you how to live your life, but Yolanda YT gonna live hers till the wheels fall off, and I'm gonna do what's best for me. And I, I hadn't been on I think one of my platforms in a while, and as soon as I cut it on, it showed that two teens was killed. I think in Berkeley, and I'm just like, wow, can I just turn on this social media platform and see something positive? Sometimes it's like it just don't stop, but it doesn't mean that I have to reform to the negativity. I'm going to continue to try to strive to find something positive in every situation. You have to. If not, you'll be sad, you'll be depressed, and a lot of people have reached out to me and told me that they're sad and they're depressed. Well, I asked them, well, what do you do on a daily basis? What do you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed? Are you hearing negative things? Are you being around negative things? And one of the persons, I just really felt for them because the negativity is right from within their home, but they're not in a position to leave just yet. So my suggestion for them is to just take every day and do something for themselves, whether it's prayer, whether it's reading, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's getting a massage, or whether, I think I'm going to get a massage today. But anyway, whether it's getting your feet done or whatever it is that makes you feel good at the end of the day, strive to do that every day. My day consists of, even before I'm conscious, I'm thanking God several times, because I wake up during the night a lot. And I just thank Him. I say, Lord, thank you for allowing me to live to see another day. And I don't just stop just there. I say thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Sometimes I'm specific in names, and I kind of do a rotation, especially people who recently just lost loved ones. I'm really fervently praying for them because I've been there. I know how that feels. I haven't lost like my mom, but I know what it's like to lose a child. So, yeah, I pray. I say some affirmations, get up, brush my teeth, take my shower. I ask Dondrell to put me on some hot water. I drink me some hot alkaline water, and then I just start my day. And if I'm earlier than that, sometimes I mix it up. I'll log on and do some different things. I'll look at my calendar to see if I have any meetings because oh boy, I have a lot of meetings. One of the organizations that I'm with, I'll be like, oh my goodness, it seems like we got a meeting every day. But in some days, I have meetings more than one day. But you know what? I'm not complaining. I absolutely love it. Giving back is amazing. And just for me, I believe in me giving back. I'll never want for anything. I can honestly say throughout my life, I've never really wanted for anything. Anything that I've ever needed in this life, God has blessed me. The universe, the creator has blessed me. You know, haven't missed any meals, haven't not had shelter. But with that, I want to help everybody else be in that same situation. It doesn't make me feel good to see all these homeless people or people who's without. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about people's wants. I could care less about your wants. I'm talking about your needs. Your wants is between you and your God, but the needs and necessities of life, I do believe we should help one another. People have helped me, and I'm so grateful. The little things, the small things, oh my goodness, it means the world to me, and those are things that I'll never forget. So as we go on in October, something else that's been bothering me and that I'm going to end and let you get back some time of your day. Those of you know the actor, Mia Long, and her fiance. She's been dating for a long time. There was a scandal within the organization, and people are chiming in about it. People are talking about it, and people are trying to cancel this man. He's a coach. He has been suspended. What behooves me and what is mind-boggling to me is the young lady who who was also consensually sleeping with him. They want to say, "Oh, well, we want to protect her," and it is, to my understanding, she still has her job. To me, it's all about accountability. You knew this man had a fiance. You too worked at this organization. So where is it where we draw the fine line from wanting to not only blame him and cancel him? She has an accountability as well. And just looking at the comments, I was just amazed at the women, mostly at the comments that they were making. And I just want to remind us that for all, not some, not many, not a little, not medium, not major, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. I want you to always remember that. There is no big or little sin, right? We all have made mistakes. We all have utilized bad judgment. Now, the first thing I thought about is I couldn't think of anybody that they wanted to counsel more than this man, and I was listening to Stephen A. and he just made a comment. He said, look, if we're going to fire the man, we're going to fire him. If not, why are we ridiculing him as if this has never happened before? And I'm not saying it's okay, but number one, they are not married. I had to tell somebody that. They was like, oh, he cheated on her. Well, they may have had a verbal agreement, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, they were not married. And then, I even was thinking about the situation with our past president, Mr. Clinton, President Clinton at the time, when he had his scandal. They're treating this worse than that. And I mean, did they impeach him? Did he get fired? I don't believe so. I believe that, you know, it was wrong for number one, not because he was a president, more so, but because he was married, right? They were married. Number two, it's not good practice when you're working within an organization. It's called fraternization with your employees. So for that, yeah, that was not right. They both shouldn't have did it, And then I had someone say to me, "Well, he's wrong because he was a coach. He has a higher rank than her." And I say, "Well, what is common sense called?" Now, if he forced her, then that's something totally different. We're talking about a totally different ball game here. But I just want to remind all of us that we need to be in a time of healing and not a time of judging. Judge not that ye may be judged. Just remember, you're gonna at some point in time gonna need or you have wanted mercy. Sometimes I think we forget. I just think back over just some things that I have done personally and other people. People forget, you know, they feel like because they've been recovered from something, then they want to talk about somebody else or judge somebody else. But we don't know what was going through their mind. We don't know why they were happening. And somebody said it was lust. Well, obviously it was lust involved, but then there's other variables, I believe, happen with this as well. So I just want to leave you with healing for today. Yeah, healing. Let's heal from within. It's okay to reflect. It's important, right? It's okay to reflect. But when you reflect, strive to heal from it. Don't stay in that negative state. Because if you stay in that negative state, hurt people hurt people. I know you've heard that before, but it's the truth. If you hang around people who are, I don't know, I'm just going to say using drugs, um, more than likely, eventually, you're going to want to try it. I talked to some people recently. I asked them, I said, how did you get started using drugs? And a couple of them said that their boyfriend was doing it and they wanted to join in because they wanted to be part of their world. And then I had other people say that they were having a lot of pain and they had a friend or a family member that, was self medicating and they saw that it was helping, so then they wanted to do it. So we just have to be careful. We have to strive to just change our mindset. If something is too much for you, seek help, ask help, and you can do it without getting other people in trouble, if that makes sense. Because I know some of us have reached out to me and like, well, we don't want this person to get hurt. Well, there's things that you can do without getting someone else hurt, but you need to put you first. And if removing yourself from that situation, hey, you got to do what's best for you. If you never had nobody tell you that they love you, I love you, I know that God loves you, but most importantly, you're going to have to learn to love yourself. And loving yourself, what that looks like, well, putting you first, taking time for yourself, not allowing people to misuse you because there's a difference in being used and misused. I think we all have been used at one time or another, right? But being misused is a totally different ballgame. So I want to thank you for always tuning in and listening to me. I'm going to be working on getting some guests on my show. It's just I've been having so much going on, but I don't want to not just drop you with some nuggets because only dropping nuggets can help you as it also helps me. We are in this together. Okay? Thank you for tuning in 24/7 to Believe Radio. No longer do you have to wait for Sunday to be uplifted, to be inspired. Thank you for listening to Stories of the Soul on Sundays. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to be a guest on my show, you can email me at yolanda.thomas76@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you enjoy your Sunday. Tomorrow, the 49ers is going to be playing the Rams. Well, y'all know who I'm rolling with. The 49ers all day, every day, baby. Bay Area love. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out. Bye.